committee, applicants, agents, staffs, and members of the public. I now call the Committee of Adjustment meeting for December 18th, 2025 to order. As this meeting is also being held virtually, I will remind you that the meeting is being recorded and streamed live via the County of Brant YouTube account. We do not have any committee members online tonight. Applicants, agents, owners, and delegations may also participate virtually. Please ensure that your screen displays your name correctly, your camera is off, and your microphone is on mute until called upon to speak. Any public delegation will have 10 minutes to speak to the current application. Any members of the public attending in person must complete the sign-in sheet in order to receive notification. Sign-in sheet at the back of the room. If you speak on any item, please come to the podium and speak into the microphone and understand that your name will appear in the meeting minutes. If you wish to receive a copy of the committee's decision, please contact the County of Brant Planning Department. This meeting is held in accordance with the provision of the Planning Act, which requires notice of public information meeting and the public notice sign to be posted. The purpose of this meeting is to discuss minor variance and consent applications and provide those in attendance the opportunity to provide feedback. A copy of the meeting agenda with all related materials is available on the County of Brant website. Once the presentations, public hearing, and question period are complete for each item, if the committee deems it appropriate, they will make a decision which is final following the 20-day appeal period. The order of delegations are as follows: planning staff report and recommendation, applicant agent presentation, question and discussion, public comments, further questions of clarification, and the decision. We'll now start with item 1, attendance. Please indicate by stating present if you are in attendance. Mary Jane Brown, present. Harry Emmett.
Present.
Steve Schmidt.
Present.
John Vamus.
Present.
Bob Hamilton.
Present.
Rebecca Smith.
Present.
Thank you. We'll now move to item 2, approval of agenda. Do any members have items to be added to the agenda? Appears none. May I request a mover and seconder? Member Hamilton, Member Emmett as seconder. Can we have your motion, please?
Moved by myself and seconded by Member Emmett that the agenda for the County of Brant Committee of Adjustment meeting for December the 18th, 2025 be approved.
Thank you. I'll now call the vote, and members indicate if you are in favor of this motion, starting with Member Emmett.
Yes.
Member Schmidt.
Yes.
Member Vamus.
Yes.
Member Hamilton.
Yes.
Member Smith.
Yes.
And Brown, yes. The motion to approve the agenda has carried. The agenda is now on record. Item 3, are there any members who would like to declare a conflict of interest for any of the items on the agenda this evening? Member Smith, which application?
I'll declare a conflict for application B28-25 AV.
Thank you. I'll just ask that you step aside when that item is heard. We'll now move to item 4, adoption of minutes from the previous meeting, November 20th, 2025. Do any committee members have any errors or omissions to note? Can I have a mover and seconder to approve the minutes? Member Emmett, is there a seconder? Member Smith? Can I please have your motion, Member Emmett?
It's moved by myself, seconded by Member Smith, that the minutes of November 20, 2025 meeting of the Committee of Adjustment be approved as printed.
Thank you. I'll now call the vote, starting with Member Emmett.
Yes.
Member Schmidt?
Yes.
Member Vamus?
Yes.
Member Hamilton?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
Ann Brown, yes. The motion to adopt the minutes from November 20th, 2025 has carried. Those minutes have gone into record now. I will now introduce item 5.1 for application B31-25-LK and turn it over to staff for the presentation of the report and the recommendation.
All right. Good evening, committee members. I'll be presenting consent application B3125LK from Scott Plandre from GD Valley Limited on behalf of the owner, Derek Fowler, for lands located at 45 Laurel Street. Subject lands are located on the west side of Laurel Street, adjacent to Lions Park. Lot area is approximately 0.7 acres with 36 meters of frontage on Laurel Street. 45 Laurel Street currently has one single attached residence, and 47 Laurel Street as well only has one single attached residence with one accessory structure that is used by the owners of 45 Laurel Street to the south. Subject lands are currently designated as natural heritage within the County of Brant official plan and neighborhoods as well within the County of Brant official plan, and zoned as natural heritage within the zoning bylaw. The applicant is proposing to sever approximately 392 square meters from 47 Laurel Street and add it to 45 Laurel Street, as you'll see on the screen, as a minor boundary adjustment to rectify a lot line discrepancy and recognize the existing function. The existing shed sits approximately at the same level, same elevation, and grade as the residence at 45 Laurel Street, which is why it is used by the current owners. Because of the natural topography of the site, it is understood this shed functions in favor of 45 Laurel Street. Some of the key considerations as part of my review were the natural hazards and the accessory structure itself. So I know it's a little small on the screen, so I'll try and be concise here. The natural heritage or hazard features that traverse the subject lands include the significant valley lands, woodland, slope valley of the GRCA, slope erosion of the GRCA, and are entirely located within the GRCA regulation limit. Of the lands to be severed and added, the difference in elevations is in approximately 4 meters, sloping from south to north, with a relatively flat plateau, which the existing shed actually sits on. As part of their review, the GRCA has no objection or comment to the proposed application. And then just the accessory structures itself outlined in the table on the screen. Section 4.4.1 of the zoning bylaw requires that all other zones that require setbacks for accessory structures are a minimum of 3 meters. Through my review of the submitted plans, we can confirm that the proposed setbacks are 5.7 meters and 6.0 meters to the closest lot lines on the property as proposed. As part of development engineering's review, staff found no perceived impacts from the municipal servicing and no development has been proposed and had no further comments. In accordance with the Planning Act, notice of the application was mailed to property owners within 60 meters on December 3rd, 2025, and a public notice sign was posted on December 2nd. As of today, no public comments or objections have been received in regard to the application. As a result of my review and the application itself, and for the reasons outlined in my report, it is my professional opinion that the application B3125LK be approved subject to the attached conditions. Thank you.
Thank you, Logan, for the presentation. Does the committee have any questions or comments to staff on this application? I believe there are none. So is the applicant or their agent present online?
Good evening, Madam Chair. My name is Scott Plandre, and I'm a planner with G. Douglas Valley and the agent acting on behalf of both Derek Fowler, the registered owner of 47 Laurel Street, Mark Knightley. Both are online at the time. The only comment we have is just heading forward when we start assuming approval. Just the owner of 45 Laurel Street is Derek Fowler, the owner of 47, and Derek is the applicant. The owner of 47 Laurel is Mark Knightley. They're both online tonight. I know that would be resolved when we start getting into the legal part of the transfers, but just for clarity on the public record. Other than that, just want to thank Brant County staff for their very efficient processing of this application, and we can answer, or I can answer any questions the committee might have.
Thank you. Do committee members have any comments or questions for the agent? It appears there are none. So then we will open the public portion of this meeting. Do we have any registered delegates? No. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak to this application? And there appears to be none. So I will now close the public portion of this meeting. So then I will ask committee members, are there any final comments or questions to either staff or the agent? And since there are none, I will request a motion, if someone can put it on the floor, seeking a seconder. Member Smith, can you please provide your motion?
I'll make a motion to approve B 31-25LK as the application conforms with the general intent of the official plan and zoning bylaw and is consistent with the provincial planning statement,
And subject to the attached conditions?
subject to the conditions in the staff report.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Member Schmidt. I'll now call the vote, starting with Member Emmett.
Yes.
Member Schmidt.
Yes.
Member Vamus.
Yes.
Member Hamilton.
Yes.
Member Smith.
Yes.
And Brown, yes. The motion to approve application B 3125LK has carried. That motion is now, has now been approved. Moving on to item 5.2 for application A1925AV, and I will turn it over to staff for the presentation of the report.
This presentation is a minor variance application A1925AV submitted by West Bond on behalf of the owners Steve and Nicole Mitchell for the property located at 116 Dundas Street West in the town of Paris. The planning staff are recommending approval of this application. Subject lands are located on the north side of Dundas Street West, west of Gord Avenue within the prime urban settlement area of Paris. The lot is regular in shape with frontage of approximately 22.8 meters and a lot area of approximately 700 square meters. Currently contains one single detached dwelling and an attached garage. Two accessory structures previously on site have already been removed. Surrounding area is predominantly low-density residential with the Paris Cemetery located directly to the south. Property is fully serviced by municipal water and sanitary services. Lands are designated neighborhoods in the County of Brant official plan and are zoned residential singles and semis under the zoning bylaw. The R2 zone permits single attached dwellings and ARUs provided the zoning standards are met. The applicant is proposing to construct an attached two-story structure consisting of storage on the ground floor with an additional residential unit above. To facilitate this, the applicant is requesting relief of Section 8, Table 8.2.1 of the zoning bylaw to permit an interior side yard setback that ranges from 1 meter to 1.2 meters, whereas 1.2 meters is required, and a rear yard setback of 5.3 meters, whereas 6 meters is required. These variances represent modest reductions intended to accommodate the footprint of the proposed addition. In reviewing this application, staff identified several key considerations. First, with respect to land use compatibility, the proposed addition is modest in scale, located to the west side of the existing dwelling, and maintains compatibility with the surrounding low-rise residential built form. The west facade contains only a bathroom window and a small foyer window, which minimizes overlook and privacy concerns for the adjacent neighbor. Second, with respect to the official plan, the proposal supports gentle residential intensification within the neighborhood's designation and adds a range of housing options in the primary settlement area. the site on full municipal services and represents an efficient use of existing infrastructure. And third, with respect to the zoning intent, the purpose of the setback requirements is to maintain access to light, air, privacy, and drainage between buildings. Staff are satisfied with the reduced setbacks, that the reduced setbacks will continue to meet these goals, and adequate parking is also maintained on site with room for 2 spaces in the driveway and 1 in the existing garage. From an engineering perspective, the reduced 1 meter side yard creates grading and stormwater management constraints. As currently proposed, the stormwater could drain towards the neighbor to the west at 118 Dundas Street West, due in part to the existing retaining wall and limited space for a proper swale. Engineering staff have confirmed that these issues can be resolved through the building permit process, where an updated grading plan will be required. The applicant may need to revise draining patterns, make use of infiltration measures, or obtain written permission from the neighboring owner if grading must approach the retaining wall. In recent days, planning staff have received written permission from the owner, or from the neighbor, sorry, at 118 Dundas Street West, allowing the grading. This also indicates that the neighbor is aware and has no concerns of the proposal. With the appropriate grading revisions, staff consider the variance to maintain the general intent of the zoning bylaw and that potential impacts can be fully mitigated. In accordance with the Planning Act, notice of the application was mailed to property owners within 60 meters on December 3rd, 2025, and a public notice sign was posted on the property on December 1st, and a site visit was completed on November 17th, 2025. As of today, no public comments or objections have been received. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, one more thing. Planning staff are satisfied with the application meets the 4 tests under Section 45(1) of the Planning Act. The requested variances are minor in scale, maintain the general intent and purpose of both the official plan and the zoning bylaw, and are desirable for the appropriate development and use of the property. The reductions represent a modest deviation from the required setbacks and are not anticipated to create adverse impacts on adjacent properties. The proposed addition supports central residential intensification, remains compatible with surrounding neighborhoods, and maintains appropriate access, light, privacy, and overall streetscape character. Engineering-related grading matters will be addressed through the building permit process to ensure that all stormwater is properly contained within the subject lands. For these reasons, staff recommend approval of minor variance application A1925AV. Thank you.
Thank you, Logan, for the presentation. Do committee members have any comments or questions to staff on this application? Member Smith?
Question through this chair to staff. I see there's eaves on the new proposed addition of the garage. Did we make sure that that setback is appropriate for the eaves to project over? Because I know with the 1 meter setback, it does make it quite close.
Through the chair, during staff's review, I can't speak to whether that had been considered, but we can definitely go back to the applicant and ensure that that setback is still being met at the eaves.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? I have a question on, I guess it's page 45 of 142, and the picture you had put up. It looks like there's an overhead door on the new addition. So is there, I know the driveway that's existing is to the east. Is there a proposal that there would be another driveway?
Through the chair, as of right now, there is that overhead door. However, the driveway is not being proposed to extend from where it currently sits on the site. So there would still remain one driveway and one access to the road on the site itself.
So in future, if they did plan on using that as an actual vehicle garage, I'm assuming it's big enough, they would have to apply for a driveway permit?
Through the chair, it's my understanding that if they needed to have access to that proposed new garage, they could extend up to that garage via their existing driveway. They wouldn't have a separate entrance on the property.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments, questions? Member Hamilton?
Through the chair to staff, same page that we're looking at there. Can you tell me how high the building's going to be with the ARU with two floors?
Through the chair, I can't identify what that height is, but I can get that information and ensure that it's within the zoning regulations.
I guess that's really my second question is, it's fine to have it, is it within that? And when you start going two heights in the town of Paris, it's not the same as being outside the town of Paris for height.
Through the chair, it's my understanding that the height of the proposed ARU or accessory or attached structure will still meet the zoning regulations found within the R2 zone.
Okay, thank you.
Member Emmett, you had a question?
Yeah, just clarification. Since this building's attached to the present house, it can have a higher roof line, can it not? I'm just going by what's printed on there. It says that the maximum building height in the zoning bylaw is 10.5, then the proposed is 6.7. That's page 5 of 19. I thought we discussed that at previous meetings on similar applications. So.
Through the chair, it's my understanding that a portion of the building can have a separate building height to what's existing on the property, and it would still meet, like you had mentioned, that maximum building height of 10.5 meters. Sorry. And to Member Hamilton's point, the maximum building height of the proposed is 6.7 meters.
Through you, Madam Chair, just to elaborate on the discussion as it relates to heights, the key factor here is that the proposed addition is attached to the primary dwelling, so it gets to enjoy the maximum height of the primary dwelling. If it was detached, it would be limited to the maximum height for the accessory structure.
Okay. I'm sure staff will look after it at the permit stage.
Any other comments, questions on this application? Is the applicant or their agent present? Yes? Would you like to add? Can we have your name and please come to the podium?
Thank you. My name is Wes Bond on behalf of Woodell Engineering. We are the applicant for Nikki and Steve. Sorry, was there anything else?
Do you wish to add anything to the staff report addressing some of the committee concerns?
Nothing much. I can say the concern about the overhead door, that was mainly to accommodate lawnmowers and other large equipment so that they can move it out. They're not meaning to store I want to say a car or truck or anything in there. As for yes, other than that, the main use of the ADU is for family members, so I believe it is their son who is going to be the one living there. It's not meant to be rented out or anything like that. That'd be the only comment I'd like to add.
Any other comments, questions? Member Smith?
A comment with it going down to 1 meters, because sometimes that 1 meters is also so you can fit a lawnmower and things into the backyard. And I'm just looking at the plans for the garage. I see the overhead door at the front, but I don't see one in the backyard. So more feedback in terms of, are the homeowners comfortable with never being able to fit, say, a riding lawnmower back there, a pool, those type of things? Maybe a comment on that if you don't mind.
Absolutely. I believe that was considered by the owners. They did consider putting a larger door in the back, but that's essentially what they felt comfortable with, is the door that they've provided through the garage.
Thank you.
Member Hamilton?
Through the chair to the applicant, is this going to be a cement slab that's being built on, or is there going to be a bit of a foundation in there? The reason I'm asking that is 1 meter trying to dig anything on a retaining wall may run you into potential problems of things shifting, that's all.
Absolutely. I don't know if the foundation has been 100% completed. Like, I believe they can still go either way. I believe the current one is that it is a frost wall, but that could be changed down the line if needed.
A second question to that, then, if there is a foundation going in, I would think you'd want to have some kind of protection from dirt flowing onto 118 or causing problems with that stone retaining wall.
Absolutely. As it was mentioned before, the owner of the neighboring property, 118, they had mentioned that they're comfortable with grading all the way up to the retaining wall to ensure there's any of those problems like that are dealt with.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Member Bamus?
Through the chair to the agent, this ARU, is there any reason why the plans, why it just can't be made 0.2 meters narrower?
Yes, while designing this building, it was taken into consideration the minimum room sizes that are required and just the use of what their son would need to live in that building. So that essentially for the number of bedrooms that they wanted and just to make the layout work as well as it could, I did try to make it as narrow as possible, but just unfortunately, just with the usability of the space, there's only so much that I was able to accomplish there. Along with that, there was also just the need for having stairs go down into the main floor so that they would be able to access the ADU and just still having that enough space in the garage there for everything that they needed.
Okay, thank you.
Any further comments? In looking at the drawings and listening to what you just said too, I noticed there doesn't seem to be a separate entrance for this ARU, so it's going through the existing residence?
No, I believe there is a man door just to the right of the overhead door.
Oh, okay, I see that now.
So they would still, they still do have an access through the residence into the garage as well. Like I said, it's a family member that'll be living in the ADU, so they're comfortable with that.
And I can't really see the drawings, the printing, but I don't know if there's enough detail. This is like a fully self-sufficient, it has its own kitchen, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments, questions? With that, then I will open the public portion of this application. Are there any public delegations? And is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak to this? No? Then I will now close the public portion of this application. And then I'll ask the committee, are there final comments, questions to staff or the agent? And since there are none, I will now request a motion from a member on this application. Member Hamilton, please go ahead.
I move that we accept application A19-25-AV and looking for a seconder. because it is minor in nature and does follow the County of Brant official plan and zoning bylaws.
Thank you. Is there a second, Member Emmett? I'll now call the vote, starting with Member Emmett,
Yes?
Member Schmidt,
Yes.
Member Vamus,
No.
Member Hamilton,
Yes.
Member Smith,
No.
and Brown, yes. The motion to approve application A1925 has carried, so that application has now been approved. Thank you. I will now introduce item 5.3 on our agenda for application A2025RF and turn it over to staff for the presentation of the report.
Good evening. I'm presenting minor variance application A20-25-RF to increase maximum lot coverage permitted for accessory structures submitted by Ken Sumner on behalf of the owner. Staff is recommending approval of this application. Subject lands are located north of Blue Lake Road with a frontage of approximately 41.63 meters along Blue Lake Road and an area of 6.6 or 0.6 hectares. The subject lands contain a single detached dwelling, a detached accessory structure, and a swimming pool. The surrounding area is mainly low-density residential, natural heritage, and agricultural, and the lands are on private servicing. The subject lands are designated countryside and natural heritage system within the 2023 official plan, and it's outside a settlement area. They're zoned rural residential and natural heritage within the zoning bylaw 6116. This application is requesting relief from zoning bylaw 6116, section 4, table 4.4.1, to permit a total lot coverage of 217 square meters for all accessory structures, whereas the maximum of 140 square meters is permitted. This application is required to facilitate the construction of an additional residential unit that will be attached to the existing detached accessory structure. Through the circulation of commenting agencies and review of this application, it's been determined that the application meets the 4 tests of a minor variance as outlined in the Planning Act, as it is minor in nature with no anticipated negative impacts to the surrounding uses. It's desirable for continued residential use, and it maintains the intent of the official plan and the zoning bylaw. A few additional considerations are that the increase in the lot coverage for accessory structures will facilitate the additional residential dwelling. All accessory structures occupy 3.6% of the lot, which results in a total lot coverage of about 10.9%, which is below the permitted maximum. The increase will not impact any agricultural lands or any natural heritage features. A minimum distance separation report was submitted with the application, confirming that the proposal complies with MDS requirements. The ARU meets the required setbacks and provides sufficient parking. The ARU will share existing well and septic system. And now if I could just bring your attention to the picture, I just wanted to point out that the orange arrows represent how the ARU will be accessed. So there is a walkway that's going to be starting from the driveway through the breezeway and then just taking you along, if I can see my mouse here, taking you along here on this side, and then all the way to the right of the existing structure, right here on the side, is where the access will be for the ARU. Notice of this application, including contact information and the date of public hearing, was circulated by mail on December 3rd, 2025, to all property owners within 60 meters of the subject lands in accordance with Section 45.5 of the Planning Act. A site visit was conducted on November 26, 2025, and the public notice sign was posted on the property on November 28th of 2025. No public comments have been received. In conclusion, it is my professional opinion that the relief requested satisfies all of the four tests as outlined in the Planning Act, and therefore, I am recommending that minor variance application A20-25-RF be approved. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Roxana, for the report. Do any committee members have comments, questions on this application? Member Amos, please go ahead.
Through the chair to the staff, is this structure one-story or two-story?
Through the chair to committee member, I believe this is a one-story structure. I think the height will be 4.5 meters.
Any other comments, questions for staff? Is the applicant or their agent present and wish to add?
Good evening, Ken Summer from Shirecrest Homes. I'm the agent for the owner, Dennison and Kings. Just here to answer any questions if you have any.
Do you have anything you wish to add to the existing report?
No, I don't think so.
Thank you. Committee members, do you have any comments or questions? Member Hamilton, please go ahead.
Through the chair to the applicant or agent, we're talking about the ARU here, which I've got no problem with, but there's going to be a 22.5 square meter deck proposed that's within this. Is that being attached to the ARU or to the house?
That is attached to the ARU.
And where would it be roughly if you look at,
It would
if
be
I'm
on-
looking at the picture there, the ARU in red on page 2 of 16, is it going out to the back towards, I don't know, tennis courts or to the side, or where is it going?
It would be on the northwest corner of the ARU.
Northwest, okay. And at that point, does it start to encroach on the lot line?
It does not.
And how far would it be away?
That I do not know. But it's within the property law and the side yard clearances.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any other comments, questions? Member Vayman?
Through the chair to the agent, will the ARU have a separate entrance, or you have to go through the existing structure to enter it?
There is a breezeway that's got between the house and the garage, so it's separate. They do not have to go.
In the back part,
In the back part, it has its own entrance.
Because it looks like it's touching the existing structure.
It is. It is adjoined to.
Do you have a separate entrance, or you have to go through the existing structure to get in?
No, you can enter the ARU from the exterior.
Thank you.
Member Hamilton?
Through the staff to the applicant, with the ARU, the septic system, will it be tied into the current house, or is it going to be a standalone by itself septic system?
It is going to be a standalone by itself.
And where would that be?
It is located to the southwest corner, close to the existing septic.
Close to the existing? Okay, thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Then following that, it will still be on the same well.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. I'll open the public portion of this application. Are there any registered delegates? No. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak to this? No. Then I will close the public portion of this application, and I'll request a motion from the committee. Member Smith, please go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve application A20-25. Sorry, went out there. RF, as the minor variance meets the four tests of the Planning Act.
Is there a seconder? Member Emmett, I'll now call the vote, starting with Member Emmett.
Yes?
Member Schmidt.
Yes.
Member Vamus.
Yes.
Member Hamilton.
Yes.
Member Smith.
Yes.
And Brown, yes. The motion to approve application A2025 RF has carried. That application has now been approved. I will now introduce item 5.4 for application A2425AV and turn it over to staff for the presentation of the report.
I'll be presenting minor variance application A24-25-AV submitted by Jared and Lydia DeLarge, owners of the property at 64 Main Street. This application is requesting relief to permit a reduced front yard setback for the existing front porch and stairs. Staff is recommending approval of this application subject to the conditions outlined in the report. The subject lands are located north of Main Street with a frontage of approximately 23.4 meters along Blue Lake Road and an area of 688 square meters within the former town of Paris. Subject lands contain a single detached dwelling and a detached structure. Surrounding land uses consist primarily of low-density residential uses in all directions, and the lands are on municipal servicing. Just want to draw your attention to the pictures on the screen, and just make a note that Main Street was recently underwent construction, which included a sidewalk and a new railing and concrete stairs on the subject lands. The lands are designated neighborhood within the County of Brown official plan and are located within the settlement area and currently zoned residential singles and semis within the zoning bylaw 6116. Relief is being requested from Section 8, Table 8.2.1 of zoning bylaw 6116, and this is to reduce the required street setback from 4.5 meters to 1.4 meters for the existing front porch, and to reduce the street setback from 4.5 meters to 0.0 meters for the existing front stairs. The variance is being requested in order to permit the existing porch and stairs that replaced a previous porch. Staff review confirmed that the proposal does satisfy the four tests of a minor variance, as the reduced front yard setback of 1.4 meters for the front porch and 0.0 meters for the front stairs are minor in nature, and they do not impact neighboring properties or the right-of-way. It is desirable for continued residential use and provides access, and it maintains the intent of the official plan and zoning bylaw. A few additional considerations in the review is that the reduced front yard setback for the front porch and stairs is that the Main Street recently underwent reconstruction, including the sidewalk and railing as shown in the previous picture. And this just means that the reduced setback does fit in with the existing conditions and has minimal impact on the right-of-way or the neighbors. The proposed porch, which is the blue square, replaces the previous porch, which is the gray square on your screen. Oh, on your screen it looks pink. My apologies. And the stairs in the same location and maintains similar footprint. Now, if I could draw your attention again to the picture, you'll see that the green square, which is representing the front stairs, encroach approximately 0.4 meters or 1 foot and 3 inches over the property line. And this minor encroachment does not affect the neighbors' infrastructure and grading, stormwater drainage, and an encroachment agreement will be required to recognize the 0.4 meter encroachment of the front stairs, and it has been included as a condition of approval. There has been no comments from the fire department and operations, so just letting you know. Notice of this application, including contact information and the date of public hearing, was circulated by mail on December 3rd to all property owners within 60 meters of the subject lands in accordance with Section 45.5 of the Planning Act. Site visit was conducted on December 8th, and the public notice sign was posted on the property on December 4th. No public comments have been received. It is my professional opinion that the relief requested satisfies all the 4 tests as outlined in the Planning Act, and therefore I'm recommending that minor variance application A24-25-AB be approved. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Roxana, for the presentation. I'll now ask the committee, do you have any comments or questions on this application? It appears there are none. Is the applicant or their agent present? Yes? Yes.
Hi, I'm Jared Delarge, the previous owner of 64 Main Street. Happy to answer any questions.
Do you have anything you wish to add to the staff report?
It was pretty thorough. I'm happy with that.
Committee members, do you have any comments or questions? Member Hamilton?
Through the chair to the applicant, you replaced the porch and I believe the stairs. Were you at that, were the stairs, previous stairs encroaching on the right-of-way, or has the right-of-way changed since you've, built the new stairs?
Nothing's changed there. The previous stairs were 7 rise, I think they were 7 rise. These are 8, but the previous stairs were not built to code.
Okay, so by building them the code, you had to extend them out into the right-of-way?
They did extend a bit further, and there was some regrading that was done when the city did the sidewalks and retaining wall, so that also added that's partially why there's an additional rise in the stairs too.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments, questions to the applicant? Member Vamus?
Through the chair to the applicant, so you're not the current owner of this property?
No, I was a week ago, but we've moved since. So that complicates it a bit, but
It's been sold,
yes.
but it hasn't closed then, obviously.
It's closed. Lawyers are all aware of it. There was a holdback, and we're taking full responsibility of whatever needs to be done, and that's not going to fall on the new owner.
Okay.
Any other comments, questions? Since there are none, I'll open the public portion of this application. Any public delegations? No? Is there anyone in the audience wishes to speak to this? And no one online. Then I will close the public portion of this application, and I'll ask the committee for a motion on this. Member Schmidt, please go ahead.
It's moved by myself and seeking a seconder for application A24-25-AB be approved, considering that it meets the intent and purpose of the county official plan, and county is supportive of the encroachment agreement, and it's minor in nature.
And subject to the attached conditions. Is there a seconder? Member Hamilton, I'll now call the vote, starting with Member Emmett.
Yes?
Member Schmidt.
Yes.
Member Vamus.
Yes.
Member Hamilton.
Yes.
Member Smith.
Yes.
And Brown, yes. Motion to approve application A2425AV has carried. That application has now been approved. I will now introduce item 5.5 for application B2825AV and turn it over to staff for the presentation of the report, noting that Member Smith has declared a conflict, so she is standing aside in this discussion and decision.
I'll be presenting consent application B28-25-AV on behalf of Efsoon Vishkini, which is the planner on this application. This application was submitted by Rishika Angrish on behalf of the owners, Richard and Margaret Malachi, for the property municipally known as 399 Pleasant Ridge Road. The application proposes to sever a surplus farm dwelling from an existing agricultural parcel, and staff are recommending approval subject to the conditions outlined in the staff report. The subject lands are located west of Pleasant Ridge Road, east of Highway 24, and south of Ellis Avenue within the former township of Brantford in the county of Brant. The property has approximately 417 meters of frontage on Pleasant Ridge Road and a total lot area of about 61 hectares. The lands contain one single detached dwelling and several agricultural structures, all associated with an active farming operation. The existing dwelling is situated in the area that is proposed to be severed, and the agricultural structures will remain on the retained farm parcel, which will continue to be used in agricultural uses. There are natural heritage features, including woodlands and a watercourse, located along the western portion of the property. These features will remain entirely on the retained lands. The lands are serviced by private well and septic, and services will remain on the severed lot. The lands are designated agricultural and natural heritage system in the County of Brant official plan and are outside of any settlement area. It is currently zoned agricultural, resource extraction with special exception, and natural heritage under the zoning bylaw 6116. This application proposes to sever a 0.47 hectare lot, or approximately 1.2 acres, with about 57 meters of frontage on Pleasant Ridge Road to accommodate the existing surplus dwelling, driveway, and private services. The retained parcel will have an area of approximately 60.7 hectares with about 360 meters of frontage and will continue to be used for agriculture. A concurrent zoning bylaw amendment has been submitted to remove the existing resource extraction with special exception zoning on a portion of the property and to rezone the retained lands to agricultural with special exception A-9. The EX-2 zone was originally applied to permit a potential extraction use that was never pursued. So the A9 zoning will prohibit any future dwelling on the retained farm parcel, which is consistent with the county's standard practice for surplus farm dwelling severance, and will ensure that the retained lands remain in long-term agricultural use. And my apologies, I went ahead. So we'll stick with this slide. So here I'm just going to discuss key considerations or conditions for this application. The farm operation is owned and operated by a bona fide farmer with a valid farm business registration number, and the retained lands will continue in active agricultural use. No development is proposed within or adjacent to the regulated areas. Both environmental planning and the GRCA have indicated that they have no objections to the severance moving forward. No development is being proposed within or adjacent to, I already said that, my apologies. One of the main conditions is the main requirement for 2.94 meter road widening along the entire frontage of Pleasant Ridge Road. This widening supports the county's planned right-of-way width and ensures the road can safely accommodate long-term maintenance and future improvements. Engineering staff have also confirmed that sightlines along the frontage are sufficient and they do not pose any safety concerns. The lands are also within MTO permit control due to their proximity to Highway 24. MTO has no objection to this application, provided the required permits are obtained and the retained lands remained zoned for agricultural use consistent with the concurrent ZBA. The concurrent zoning bylaw amendment must also be approved to apply the A-9 special exception zone to the retained parcel, which prohibits any future dwelling consistent with surplus farm dwelling policies. A key access-related condition requires the removal of the existing northern driveway at 399 Pleasant Ridge Road and the construction of a new driveway that will serve the severed dwelling only. This requirement is consistent with the county's entrance bylaw, which aims to minimize the number of entrances along rural roads and improve overall road safety. The retained farm parcel will no longer use the existing shared entrance. A public works permit will be required for both the removal of the existing entrance and the installation of the new one. For this application, notice was provided to all property owners within 60 meters of the subject lands on December 3rd, 2025, in accordance with the Planning Act. The public notice sign was posted on the property on December 3rd, and a site visit was conducted on November 17th. No public comments or concerns have been received regarding this application. In conclusion, consent application B24-25-AV proposes to sever a 0.47 hectare surplus farm dwelling lot from the agricultural property at 399 Pleasant Ridge Road, while the approximately 60.7 hectare retained parcel will continue in active agricultural use. The concurrent zoning bylaw amendments will improve the outdated EX-2 zoning and apply the A-9 zone to the retained lands to prohibit any future dwelling, which is consistent with the county's standard practice for surplus farm dwelling severances, and it supports the long-term viability and protection of the agricultural land base. Staff are satisfied that the application is consistent with the provincial planning statement and it conforms to the County of Brant Official Plan 2023 and complies with zoning bylaw 6116. All technical comments have been addressed through the recommended conditions, including requirements for a road widening and the relocation of the existing northern driveway. For these reasons, planning staff recommend that consent application B28-25-AV be approved, subject to the conditions outlined in the staff report. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Roxana, for the report. I'll now ask committee members, do you have any comments or questions on this application? It appears there are none. So I will then ask, it appears the agent is here to present. Hello, can you hear us?
Oh,
Oh,
Thank Madam Chair. Yes, I can hear you. Sorry, I thought everything was frozen for a second. Thank you, staff, for the presentation. I have nothing much to
can we
add.
have your name for the record?
Oh, sorry about that. Ruchika Angrish, I am representing the owners of the property, Malaki Farms, for the surplus farm dwelling severance. We have read the staff report and the conditions that are associated with the severance, and I have a request for one of the conditions, number 5, for the removal of existing northern driveway entrance at 399 Pleasant Ridge Road. The original comments from staff were related to hydro pole and interference with the existing driveway. The owners have been in contact with Grand Ridge Energy as well as county's engineering department with respect to both the hydropole as well as for the existing driveway that will be on the retained farm. I would request that if the condition is slightly modified rather than removing the northern driveway entrance to something so to satisfy engineering with respect to that existing driveway, because it was, as I mentioned, it was related to the hydropole as well. So we would like to work with staff with respect to that and come to a resolution. But if the condition specifically asks us to remove that driveway, then we would have no choice. That would be something if the committee can reword that condition, would be really appreciated.
Before I open it to the committee for questions, I just want to confirm my understanding, because I did have difficulty hearing you. Are you requesting that all of condition 5 be removed or just modified?
Madam Chair, just simply modify to remove the reference of removal of the existing driveway. We do need a new driveway for the house, but the existing driveway, having some conversations with the, if it can be reworded so that it gives us a little bit flexibility. If at the end, if we need to remove it, then we will definitely.
Okay, then I will ask the committee if you have questions for the agent on this matter, because she is requesting a modification, from my understanding, that she wants the wording changed. I'm not quite sure how that can be done, because to me, the existing driveway would then be on the retained parcel. So I'll ask the committee, do you have questions or comments on this? Member Hamilton, please go ahead.
Through the chair to the agent, are you requesting saving the current driveway, but there's one just up the road? Are you willing to knock that one out so there isn't two? The reason that my understanding, the reason that staff has put that in there is that there's three, with the new driveway, there would be three entry points within a few hundred feet. And therefore, that's why they're requesting one gone. So would you take the other one out if that one stayed as a modification?
To you, Madam Chair. What we are trying to determine with engineering staff is, the location of either one of those two driveways that will remain with the retained farm. So either one can be removed. Maybe if the modification is made, that gives us a little bit flexibility when we work with and getting this resolved. But we understand that having three driveway entrances in a very short distance, that is one of the concerns. So we will remove one entrance, and that's what we've been working on.
So just to confirm for Member Hamilton, you're requesting the wording change to condition 5, that it could be an either or situation for one of the existing driveways.
That's correct.
And my comment would be that in retaining the one that's so close to the severed residence, isn't that opening up potential conflicts? Because You will then have farm equipment going in and out, I mean, based on pictures right by the house.
Through you, Madam Chair, yes, that is true. It's a surplus farm dwelling surrounded by the farm. So I'm not sure. Yeah, there may not be a conflict, but again, this is something that we are still assessing.
Do committee members have comments or questions to the agent on this? As a follow-up question, then, I would ask, is there a reasoning you want to keep that access so close to the residents?
Madam Chair, it's not, again, as I mentioned, we are working with engineering and resolving this. My understanding is the owner wasn't able to make it, but my understanding is they're having direct conversations with the engineering department with respect to the hydro location as well as the existing driveway. And I just, the condition specifically talks about removal of that northern driveway, and all I'm requesting the committee is giving a little bit flexibility with respect to removing one entrance. That will give us a little bit of a flexibility while we work with staff.
Then I would ask staff's opinion on that modification request.
Through Madam Chair, from my understanding, it's not desirable to have a residential access adjacent to a farm operation because it's due to road safety. But perhaps maybe Dan can elaborate a little bit more on that.
Through you, Madam Chair, again, Roxy's right. The comments, the intent behind the comments are to, given the application, it's an opportunity to ensure that we reduce the number of entrances and provide entrances in locations that are safe. To the agent's request, staff are supportive of adding wording that allows for some flexibility. The lot lines as shown would not change. It would be where and how the configuration of the entrances would be established. The surplus dwelling lot would be permitted one entrance. The farm would be permitted to maintain an entrance, and certainly an opportunity to work with engineering, continue to work with engineering to come up with a solution given some flexible condition wording. No issues with that.
Okay. And is the problem that it may interfere with the hydro pole? Or the hydro pole will interfere with the entrance?
Through you, Madam Chair, I think the wording of the condition certainly could allow for the issue to work itself out with given a little bit more time to work with our operations staff and engineering as it relates to the poles themselves. But certainly, again, we're in support of adding some wording to allow us additional time and options related to the entrances and the poles.
Any other comments, questions from committee for the applicant? Since there are none, I will open the public portion of this application. There are no public delegations, and there's no one left in the audience to comment, so I will now close the public portion of this application. And are there any final questions or comments from committee members to staff or the agent? Since there are none, I'll request a motion from the committee. Member Emmett, did you raise your hand? Okay, can I have your motion, please?
Move myself seeking a seconder that application B 2825 AB be approved as it meets the standard conditions of the provincial planning statement and the Grant County official plan, and with the wording that staff recommends for condition 5.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there a seconder? Member Schmidt? I'll now call the vote, starting with Member Emmett.
Yes.
Member Schmidt?
Yes.
Member Vamus?
Yes.
Member Hamilton?
Yes.
And Brown, yes. The motion to approve application B 2825 AV has carried. That application has now been approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will now introduce item 5.6 for application A2225 PB and turn it over to staff for the presentation of the report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If the committee members don't mind, I'll present from my current position. No objections? Thank you. This application may look familiar to some committee members. Just waiting for my presentation to pop up on the screen. There it is. This is a minor variance application for 33-6 concession. The owner, Brad Durham, is with us virtually, and Jeremy Kutzall of Kutzall Construction are with us virtually this evening. This is essentially a new application that is correcting a previous application from October. And I'll just skip through the portion that will refresh your memories. So the property is identified on the screen in red. This is an existing lot with a single detached dwelling and an existing garage that is going to be partially removed and a portion of it retained. The official plan designation is in our neighborhoods designation located in Burford, and the zoning is currently agricultural. So that previous application that was previously approved in October of this year, A1425, was an application that requested a reduced side yard setback of 2.5 meters for the proposed accessory structure. It also requested an increased accessory structure lot coverage up to 145 square meters from the 93 square meters that was permitted. The application was approved by this committee. The appeal periods passed, building permits applied for, and as part of that zoning review, it was identified that the existing deck, the 26 square meters, should have been accounted for and calculated within the total area for accessory structure. So we are back with a new application to correct this request. So no changes to the setback request that has been approved and will maintain. The application now requests an increase for the accessory structure lot coverage from the 145 to a total of 171, which is no changes to the proposed structure. We are just including the 26 square meters to recognize the existing deck. In the next slide here, just a picture of that deck itself. A portion of the deck is, it's a two-tier deck, so we're only having to count the taller portion of the deck that contains the railing. The lower portion is considered a patio because it's 24 inches or less above the ground. As I mentioned, a new application, so we did recirculate to the public. If you remember, we did receive a letter from the neighbor as part of the first circulation. No comments received as part of this circulation. And with that being said, staff recommendation is for approval. Again, technical in nature to kind of as a form of correction to the previous decision, although it is a new application. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for the report. And do committee members have any comments or questions on this? It appears there are none. So, you said the owner was present? Yes?
Owner and Eugenia.
Would Mr. Durham like to add to the staff report?
No, I have nothing to add at this time.
Thank you. Comments, questions from committee members to the owner? And there are none. I'll open the public portion, but there are no delegations and there's no one in chambers to speak to it. So I will now close the public portion of this application. Any final comments, questions from committee members? And since there are none, I will request a motion. Member Hamilton, please go ahead.
I move that we accept the minor variance application A22-25-PB because it's minor in nature and fulfills all the four parts of a minor variance and follows the official plan and the zoning bylaws of the county of Brant and seeking settlement.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Member Vamus. I'll now call the vote, starting with Member Emmett.
Yes?
Member Schmidt.
Yes.
Member Vamus.
Yes.
Member Hamilton.
Yes.
Member Smith.
Yes.
And Brown, yes. The motion to approve application A2225PB has carried, so that application is now approved. We will now move to item 6. The next meeting is scheduled for January 15th, 2026, and again will be a hybrid meeting starting at 6 p.m. So we will now move to item 7. May I please get a motion to adjourn the meeting? Member Emmett, is there a seconder? Member Schmidt, please can I have your motion?
It's moved by myself, second by Member Schmidt, that the Committee of Adjustment meeting of December 18, 2025 be adjourned.
All those in favor? Yes. I now declare the meeting of December 18th adjourned.